Hello everyone. Today I'm going to take you through a layout that I did in homage to my mum because I consider her to be Superwoman and the greatest woman alive. And I'm sure we all think the same of my mum, of our mums and my mum, but I wanted to share this layout with you. The other reason I wanted to share this was because this was a very heavy process for me creating this layout, not because of the subject matter, but just trying to pull things together and get things to work. I really fought, and you will see that throughout the video as we move on. So initially I've chosen an old sheet of 12 by 12 as a background. It's got all these lovely red hearts. It goes really well with that photo of my mum. It's just a small passport photo, and I'm using scraps just to build up on the left hand side of the page some sort of focal point. Now, as I move forward, I'm not happy with it. It's just far too busy. Part of that is the background, and eventually I've settled on white to use as a background, but I keep moving things around. I keep changing my mind. I'm not happy with this, I'm not happy with that. It's like this particular part here, I'm sticking back on the bits that I'd cut off of those squares. So I'm being very decisive with this particular layout. I'm making so many changes as we go. And trying out so many different things to make it work. It did at one point feel a bit like pulling teeth. However, as we go through, I make decisions, I remove bits of paper. I even considered at one point changing around the photos, which you'll see very shortly, because it just wasn't working. I just couldn't get the matting right, I couldn't get the papers the way I wanted them to be. It just felt wrong. And as I've said to you before, a lot of my process is intuitive, so if it doesn't feel right, I need to change it. I want to have a layout I'm happy with. I could have stuck it down where it is, but I just wouldn't have been happy with it. So again, you'll see me pull everything off, cut things up again, move things around yet again, and still not settle on anything. So here's where I started running through my photos. I pulled out about 4 or 5 photos just to see whether I could create something slightly different with it, although I really want to use those passport photos because they're brilliant. And you know, as you go through your photos and you try things out, you audition them if you like. I came back to the original passport photos, of which I have a few of. So I settled on 3 of these small passport photos, and I still wasn't happy with the papers. So here I am, sticking more bits of paper on, and then changing my mind and adding another piece of paper to it. It's just a scrap, and it's just to help. It helped me to pull that background down a little bit, so it wasn't so forward in your face. So it wasn't battling. I think my problem was it was battling with the photos for dominance, and that's what I really struggled with. It needed to be on its own. Now finally I was happy with the left hand side of the page, but as with all these things, you need a bit of movement in the page. If it's just in one small corner, it tends to feel very static, like it's unfinished and unflowing. There's no movement to draw the eye. So I stuck a small cluster of just bits of paper in the top left hand corner, and then I went on to try out my embellishments, as I always do. So I pulled out some frames, I pulled out some bling, I pulled out some black thread, which I've had kicking around in there for, oh God only knows how long. And I decided that with the frame, I liked it up the top, so I was going to cut it up and stick it up the top, because why not? And also, it pulls the red in, because the red in that frame allowed me to draw that bit of red up there, as well as having the paper. So as I've played around, I've cut bits off, tucked things behind, moved things around, and I also used a circular frame. I can't remember what they're called. They're from Viewers, and just added those. So I started to play around with the thread, because my mum does a lot of needlework, and thread just adds that bit. It adds a bit of dimension and movement, but also it's quite poignant. And that was pretty much it. I was really happy with it at this point, having played around so much with the paper at the beginning. Eventually, although it was a bit painful to get it together, I did get there and decided to add my title. So adding a title for me involves running through a pile of letters and just seeing where it takes me, which is what I did by the end of it. Oh yeah, and chucking a few punched hearts on it just for good measure, just in case there wasn't enough paper there and I hadn't been indecisive enough already. So once we've got these hearts stuck down, then we're going to move on to the alphabets. So I've pulled out this particular one. I cannot for the life of me remember who it's by, but it's fine rose gold letters, which I really, really love. And it just works. I'm going to add the title right up close to that left-hand side so that it's right on the edge, if you like, so there's not a lot of space. It did need the photos just shifting around a little bit so that I could do that. And as with a lot of these letter stickers, they needed a bit of extra glue. But that's pretty much it. So I've added the title, which is Superwoman, my head there as well, and the year Mum was born, which was 1952, although she might lynch me for saying that. And that's it. I really hope you enjoyed seeing this come together, and know that if you're struggling to make papers work, you're not alone. Sometimes the process, it just will not happen, and that's okay. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like, share, comment below, and I will see you soon. Bye!